Okay, we are live. Hello, guys, and welcome back here on the channel. Today we have a guest, and I'm really super happy as we're going to talk about Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer situation. So with the updates of the last few hours, we have with us Mark Ogden from ESPN. Mark, super pleasure to be with you, and how are you?
I'm good, guys. How are you? Glad to be here.
We're fine. Thank you. And really, thanks for joining because, as you know so well, Manchester United fans are buzzing to have some updates in the last hours to understand what is going to happen. And let me mention again your articles on ESPN because as always you're doing a great job. And it's a super pleasure to have you here to talk with you a bit about Manchester United situation. Yesterday, I really appreciate a lot your article on ESPN with the situation inside Man United dressing room, what's going on with the manager, players, the attitude. So I really loved the insights from you as always. Today, a few minutes ago on ESPN, you released another article with the updates on Solskjaer situation. So I let you speak with the latest, but wanted to mention your articles, your Twitter account. So guys, you have the opportunity to follow Mark to have all the latest as always on Man United. And so Mark, first of all, thanks again. And what are the latest according to your information on this Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer situation?
Well, as we speak now, Tuesday lunchtime, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is likely to be in charge for the Tottenham game. The Glazers, United's owners, spoke to Ed Woodward yesterday on Monday, and they decided that rather than make a change and have no interim coach available, they would stick with Solskjaer for the Tottenham game. Hope that he will get a win, and if he gets a win, they'll survive to the Atalanta game and then maybe the City game. But United need to buy some time, and it's clear that Solskjaer's job is very much in doubt. And if he loses one of his next games, I think that will be the end of him. But United haven't got a plan in place because this has been a surprise. They didn't expect the situation to become so bad so quickly. So they haven't got an alternative lined up. Now, we all know that Antonio Conte is available and he wants the job. And United are aware that he's available and he wants the job and they respect his record. But I've been told that there are still a lot of supporters within United for Maurizio Pochettino. Now, Pochettino signed a new contract at PSG in the summer, but PSG haven't made a great start to the season. So if United are trying to get Pochettino, it'll be very difficult. So I think they're assessing their options in the next week. It's an international break soon, so I think this next week and a half gives them the time to decide, do we stay with Solskjaer, do we give them the chance to turn it around, or do we find somebody now that can take over after the international break?
Okay, so this is the point of the situation, and thank you, Mark, because it's really interesting. First of all, I think as next step, the game with Tottenham. No, so the feeling now, of course, the situation we know, guys, that can change minute by minute. So it's part of the crazy world of football. But as of now, the feeling is around Man United is that Solskjaer, as Mark was saying, is gonna stay and will have a chance with Tottenham. You're feeling, Mark, if the situation with Tottenham will be, I won't say the same with Liverpool because this game was really terrible. But if Manchester United are not winning with Tottenham, your feeling is that he will be in danger again, or they will wait for the international break, whatever is going to happen in the next game?
No, I think if they lose at Tottenham, I think that will be it. That will be the end because, by going to Tottenham gives them a week. It gives them a week from the Liverpool game to speak to people in the game, to find out who's interested, who's available. They just didn't want to go to the situation at Tottenham whereby if Solskjaer is sacked, they haven't got a guy who can come in as the interim coach, because the coaches, Carrick, McKenna, they're all part of the same team. So there's no available guy that can come in for one or two games just to give them the time. So, but if they lose at Tottenham, that will be 3 successive Premier League defeats. That'll be bad. That'll be really bad. And Atalanta is a crucial game for the Champions League. So they need to do something. But I think they're just buying some time and giving themselves some space to decide what they can do and who's available.
Yes. And this is a key point also because as you were mentioning also Antonio Conte is a point, and I have been told also yesterday that Antonio wants to go to Manchester United. He's dreaming of this Manchester United job. He would love to join. Of course, he's respecting Solskjaer work, but if Man United will call Antonio Conte, he's going to be ready to accept and to try this new experience. But the feeling around Conte, Mark, according to the information you have, and also we're seeing in your article, we have the article here on ESPN. What you said is that at the moment, the feeling is maybe they are not still 100% convinced on this Antonio Conte opportunity, no?
I think they're a little bit scared of Antonio Conte. I think because his reputation at Chelsea, Inter Milan, is a guy that we'll fight with the board, we'll fight with the owners, we'll demand. I think Man United, when they had Jose Mourinho, it ended really badly, and I think that they want to avoid having another Jose Mourinho. Now, Antonio Conte might bring a Premier League title or an FA Cup to Man United, and I think that'll be a big step. But I don't think the owners want to be in the situation where they have a coach who will tear it all up and create problems and create arguments. Maybe that's the wrong idea. The right idea is to be like Chelsea or Man City and appoint a coach who's demanding, but he demands excellence. Conte demands excellence, but maybe he's just a bit too combative for the owners and the executives at Man United.
Okay, this is an important point, because maybe the feeling around this Conte situation is maybe we will be happy like 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, and then we are back with problems. So this is why maybe they are not 100% convinced. They're texting you in the chat, Mark, if you have something on the name of Zinedine Zidane before moving on Pochettino, as you wrote in your article. On Zidane, you had something in the last hours, or it still seems saying that it's not so hot for Man United?
Yeah, my colleague Julien Laurence, well connected in France, he said that Zidane is not interested. Zidane is a guy with a fantastic track record, 3 Champions Leagues, but I don't think Zidane is a career manager, a career coach. He's a Real Madrid career manager. He doesn't have an interest in going to England or to the Premier League. I think Zidane might manage France, but I don't think, or Juve, but I don't think he has an ambition to manage in the Premier League. I think he's happy to sit and wait and see what happens. I don't think Zidane is a good fit for Man United.
Okay. Yes, the feeling around Zidane is also that after leaving Real Madrid, he seems really relaxed with his personal life also, so not desperate to come back and working as manager right now. So maybe he's going to wait a bit, and this is part of the process also for a manager and the person. Like,
also, it's not an easy job arriving in this moment to Man United in the middle of the season. So some managers might want to wait the end of the season. Yes. Antonio Conte, we know that usually does that, but in this case,
yes, the only club that could change his mind. So let's see what happens with these managers. Ten Hag is the same. No, Mark, it seems not a name right now, not something that is going on. They are texting about Ten Hag. He's really appreciated by Man United fans, I see.
Yeah, Ten Hag obviously has got a great reputation at Ajax, but I do think that United, again, it's their history that they appointed David Moyes and tried to give a guy a rising coach an opportunity, and it was a failure. And I think they'd be worried about Ten Hag, that a bit like Solskjaer in Norway, managing in Holland right now in Eredivisie is not the right preparation to manage Man United. And I think Erik Ten Hag is a guy that's got a big future, but it's a massive step to go from Ajax to Manchester United. So I don't think he's a contender right now.
You said about Pochettino in your article on ESPN. You mentioned him as really appreciated by part of Man United board. So your feeling is that if they had the opportunity to go for Pochettino, he's the name that they like. He's the favorite name they have in their list. Of course, he's working for Paris Saint-Germain, so it's not going to be easy. But this is the name.
Absolutely. Look, when Mourinho was sacked back in 2018, Pochettino was the guy they wanted. They were desperate for Pochettino, but Solskjaer did so well that they couldn't move Solskjaer on, and there was also a concern that Tottenham would make it difficult to get Pochettino. But people at United have a very high opinion of Pochettino, and he has a lot of support within the important people at United, like the board members and the senior figures. But as you said, we know that PSG have made a difficult start to the season, that they drew at the weekend against Marseille, and it's not the happiest of clubs right now. But Pochettino signed a new contract in July.
Yes.
It keeps him there till 2023, so he will cost a lot of money. PSG may think, well, last season they sacked Thomas Tuchel. He went to Chelsea, won the Champions League. Can they afford to sack Pochettino? And the same thing happened at Man United. So I think this may be a question of ego with the owners now, that they don't want to risk Pochettino to go to Man United. So I don't think that'll happen soon, unless Pochettino quits, which again I don't see that happening. Managers don't resign.
Yes. In particular, if you're working at Paris Saint-Germain, it's going to be really complicated. Your feeling around Pochettino as a journalist, so just your opinion in this case, not joking about news. Your feeling is that Pochettino could be the right name for Man United. You live 24 hours about Manchester United. You know a lot about this club. So your feeling is he could be the right name, or you see something different as journalist. So with your opinion in this case,
no. I do know that Pochettino, for people at United, he ticks all the boxes because he's got a big reputation. He plays good football, but he also gives young players a chance. Now, Man United have always wanted to give their young players a chance, and we've seen Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford, players like that who are They want a coach who will give the young players a chance. Now, Pochettino hasn't got a great record in terms of winning trophies, and that is the problem. But when United look around, I spoke to somebody at United, one of the senior people, maybe a year ago, and I said, look, you can't get Klopp, you can't get Guardiola. So who are the big guys out there right now that you think, if you had to make a change, who are the coaches that you would go? And the three names that were given to me were Julian Nagelsmann, Thomas Tuchel, and Mauricio Pochettino. And Nagelsmann's at Bayern Munich, so they're not getting Nagelsmann. Tuchel, forget Tuchel, he's at Chelsea. Pochettino, you know, at some point soon, I think he will leave PSG. I think that is not a good fit, but I don't think it'll happen soon enough. I don't think they can wait for Pochettino because it may be 6 months.
But a question I have is, in case that they sack Ole this weekend or next week, and we'll see what happens, can a solution be a caretaker manager until the end of the season and then going for another manager in the summer? Because that's what they already done with Solskjaer in the first place. Yeah. When Mourinho was sacked, Solskjaer was a caretaker manager.
That is a solution, but I think the danger of that is that they bring somebody in, I don't know, another Solskjaer who does really well, and they have to do the same thing again, and then he's not the guy for the job. But there are no obvious Ole Gunnar Solskjaers out there right now. You know, Ryan Giggs isn't available. You know, a lot of former United players like Steve Bruce and Mark Hughes, they're too old for the job now. They're not ready for the job. So this is the problem United have got. If they make a change after Tottenham or after Man City, there is nobody really a credible short-term solution, because that is the problem they have, you know. So, and there's only Antonio Conte who's available. You know, I've spoken to people about the likes of Luis Enrique, Didier Deschamps, coaches with a big international reputation, but I'm told they're not interested. Roberto Mancini, again, great track record with Italy and Man City, but a bit similar to Conte. Mourinho, very combative and very, very demanding. So, and also Man City as well. So that'll be difficult. But there are good coaches out there. But it's whether United have got the ability to get the one that they want.
But knowing Man United so well, Mark, you were expecting this kind of situation. We are in October. It was August when they signed Cristiano Ronaldo, Jadon Sancho in July, Rafael Varane in July. It was seeming like the best moment for Man United after many difficult years. And then now we are in October and we're in this kind of situation. We want Pochettino, but we can't. We have Solskjaer in danger. We want to sack Solskjaer, but we have not the first option ready. So your feeling on Manchester United general situation, what is it, just to understand inside of this story?
Yeah, I think Man United made a big mistake in the summer when they gave Solskjaer a new contract. He had 1 year on his contract. He was due to expire in June 22, and they gave him a 3-year contract. So they kind of rewarded Solskjaer for very, very slow progress. So they weren't expecting to make a change. But if you look at United's record under Solskjaer, they've really not won any of the big games that matter. They've lost 4 semi-finals. They lost the Europa League final. The big games in the league, they lose. So really, they should have seen this coming. But I think United's executives aren't the same quality of Chelsea, of Man City, of Liverpool. You know, Chelsea would not put up with the manager in this situation. Not a chance. He would have been gone a long time ago. Same at Man City. Man United's owners, to their credit, give their managers a long time. They give their managers the chance to get out of bad situations. But as we know in football, that when a manager's in a bad situation, it's very difficult to get out of it. And with David Moyes, with Louis van Gaal, with Jose Mourinho, they all survived much longer than they should have done, because it was clear very soon before they kept that they needed to go, and the players had lost their faith.
And it's really impressive, because it was 2 months ago when they signed Cristiano Ronaldo. So it's really incredible to be in this situation right now. But football is like this. Mark, in your article, your last article you released a few minutes ago on ESPN, we dropped those, and you also wrote that they will also decide during the international break. Let's see what happens with Tottenham, of course. But whatever is going to happen with Tottenham, we have Tottenham, Atalanta, and Man City games. So you think in the international break, they will take a final decision if Solskjaer is the man maybe to complete the season as Manchester United manager, or if they want to step up and go with a different one. So you think this will be the moment if something crazy is not happening with Tottenham as happened with Liverpool, of course.
Yeah, of course. The international break gives United a chance to breathe. You know, it gives them a chance to really sit down and assess the situation. And by the time they get to the international break, they will have had 2 weeks to assess the situation, to see who's available, to see who wants the job. So if they can get to the international break without any more catastrophic defeats, and Man City could be a big one, then when they get to that point, they will have had 2 weeks to investigate who's available, and then they can make a decision without a game for 2 weeks. So that's the ideal scenario. They get to the international break, and Solskjaer has either turned the situation around with 3 victories, or they found somebody that can come in. Right now, people at United feel it's too soon. It would be too much of a risk to move Solskjaer and his coaches and have, I don't know, maybe Darren Fletcher in charge because he's the sporting director. He's the only obvious candidate, and he has no experience as a coach. So for United, the least bad option right now is to keep Solskjaer in charge, because at least he has experience as a manager, despite the fact they lost very heavily in the last game to the biggest rivals.
Yes, and I 100% agree with this point. I also loved, as I mentioned when we started, the article from yesterday, all the insights you gave also about the players. No, you were mentioning about senior players not so happy maybe on tactical point with Solskjaer. So if you can tell us about this point, also about the dressing room. So how is the situation right now at this tactic point? Because, for example, we are Italians, we know Antonio Conte so well, and you can maybe mention that Antonio Conte is not the best one with young players, okay? But on tactic point, he's a master, he's a fantastic manager on this point. So talking about Solskjaer, you think that the feeling around players is not the best one on this side?
Yeah, the players are frustrated by the lack of coaching, the lack of direction, the lack of certainty. So we saw against Liverpool how individual mistakes led to goals, like the second goal, Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire collided. Now, that's an individual mistake, but that is born out of players not having the instruction from the coach to what to do, when to do it, when to press, when to drop deep, when to keep a high line. The coaching, Solskjaer doesn't do a lot of coaching. He's very much a manager, but his tactics are his tactics. And the players are frustrated that they have a talented squad of great players who are not being coached to the level of a Tuchel or a Klopp or a Guardiola at the other teams. They feel that this squad can win things, but that the coaches are not of the same level as the players. Elite players, top players, want to be coached by elite coaches and top coaches. And they look at their coaches and they see Michael Carrick in his first job, Kieran McKenna in his first job, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer having been sacked by Cardiff. Really, Man United's coaches are maybe championship level coaches, but they want Champions League coaches. And they're frustrated that they're not being given the opportunity by the coaches to progress. And there's little things, little details like, the players are frustrated that even Solskjaer hasn't been able to find a way to get Cristiano Ronaldo and Mason Greenwood to work together. Ronaldo is upset that Greenwood doesn't pass to him in scoring situations. Now, if you've got two strikers, you'd say to them, look, this is what we do. This is how you run that way, you look for this player, you pass in this situation. But right now, they're both playing like schoolboys. They just want to shoot from everywhere, and it's not helping the team.
Yes. This is the key point, I think, because we're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. We know how influential is Cristiano Ronaldo. Of course, we're talking about an incredible, legendary player, but also on this kind of situations, Cristiano is so influential. So you think this is one of the key aspects in this story with Solskjaer, also with Cristiano and Greenwood connection that is not the best one right now? Yeah,
and it is part of the problem, because the players are frustrated that two great players, Greenwood and Ronaldo, are not playing to the best of their abilities because they are not being able to fulfill their ability. I was told as well recently that Ronaldo has told Solskjaer he wants the ball getting to him more quickly because he thinks it's too slow, the build-up is too slow, and by the time he gets the ball, he's not able to do what he wants. So there's all these elements to the fact that United aren't playing as they should be, but I do think that Ronaldo he's raised the standards and expectations of the players. He has gone in there and they look at Ronaldo and think, something, we should be doing better. And this guy is demanding better. So as good as Ronaldo is for the team when they're winning, I think he's also made a lot of players realise that we should be doing a lot better and the coaches should be doing better for us. And that is the problem.
Yes.
They don't dislike Solskjaer on a personal level like they dislike Mourinho. When Mourinho left, they had no friends in the dressing room anymore, Mourinho. Solskjaer has Solskjaer is well liked, he's a good guy. But as a coach, as a tactician, the players are very frustrated.
Okay, and I also really like the point where you said about the other managers, because we're talking about Premier League level. So you have Pep Guardiola, you have Jurgen Klopp. It's not easy to go in this kind of managers, no? So maybe this is another point. This is why maybe they're looking at Pochettino as perfect candidate. It's about the level. So, and I also wanted to ask you, Mark, about this kind of point, your personal feeling on this. So you think that maybe for Man United, it's better to have a manager, as you know the club so well. So it's better to have a manager like Pochettino with different track as Antonio Conte on trophies, but more different manager also as approach is completely different to have Pochettino or Conte. So who you think it could be the best option as a style, for Man United?
I think Pochettino is a better fit for United. I think his temperament, his his philosophy with young players. They're very different. I think Conte wants older players, more experienced players. He wants to win now. But I don't think United are in a position to win now. They still have problems in the team where if he comes in now, Conte will want a defensive midfielder in January. He'll say, right, we need a better defensive midfielder. And straight away, that will cause a problem with the owners because they'll have said, well, it's going to cost a lot of money. Who can we get in January? So I think Pochettino is a better long-term solution. But I think both Pochettino and Conte, when they walk into the dressing room, they are the biggest personality at Old Trafford. Right now, Solskjaer walks into his dressing room, and it's not him, it's Pogba, it's Ronaldo, it's Maguire, it's Fernandes.
Yes.
Pochettino and Conte will walk in and they will instantly get respect, authority, and that the players will know who the boss is. And right now, I don't think when they see Solskjaer, I don't think they have that.
This is so important. This is so important point. I agree 100% with you. And I want to ask you about a single player now, like Paul Pogba, because I think this situation is really incredible. In the press conference, we see Solskjaer many times mentioning about Paul. He has to be part of the progress. We want him also for the future. And then when there are key games, Pogba is on the bench. So how you think this situation is going on about the contract? And then you are not playing him in key games with Atalanta, with Tottenham, with Liverpool. So how is possible that this situation is going like this? And do you expect Pogba to leave the club if the situation is not changing? Because my feeling is yes. If it's going to continue like this, Pogba will leave.
Yeah, now Pogba and Solskjaer have a relationship that goes a long way back to when Pogba was in the reserves and Solskjaer was the reserve team manager. So they have a relationship; they understand each other. Now, I think they kind of have a respect, but I think that's diminishing right now. And it changed after when United lost at Leicester. Paul Pogba came out and said something has to change. And it was quite critical. He didn't blame Solskjaer, but it was clear that he was having a concern about Solskjaer. The next game, Solskjaer dropped him. Solskjaer decided to make an example of Pogba and dropped him. So that has caused an issue because obviously Pogba doesn't want to be dropped. Now, I don't think Solskjaer has found a way to get the best out of Pogba ever. But in terms of his situation, his contract, I think that whoever is the manager at United, I think that Pogba will let his contract expire. And when he gets to the summer, then he'll make a choice. But he could still stay at United next summer. He could let his contract expire and still stay because he knows that United will pay him very big money to stay. More money than he can get anywhere else. But it depends who the coach is. And if the coach comes in there, obviously Antonio Conte worked with Pogba at Juve. He knows how to get the best from Pogba. Pogba may think that Conte... Yeah, Pochettino, I'm not so sure. I think Pochettino would want to move Pogba out because I don't think Pogba works hard enough for Pochettino. So much depends on who the coach is. But if Solskjaer stays, and I think that's unlikely, then I think Pogba goes because I don't think Pogba will look at Solskjaer and think I can win trophies with this guy.
Yes, I 100% agree with you, and it's really incredible. Imagine if Man United are going to lose Pogba again as free agent after what happened when he was like 19 and Juventus signed him. So would be really an incredible story. After re-signing him for 100 million euro,
losing again.
One of the most crazy stories in the history of transfer market. But let's see what is gonna happen. And
while the chat, we have a poll with Antonio Conte is the favorite.
Yes,
from the chat instead of Pochettino.
Okay. They don't like Pochettino maybe because he was working at Tottenham, so it's part of
maybe that.
This is part of football. But Mark, wanted to ask you about another player like Donny van de Beek, because together with Pogba, these are the two craziest situations I think right now at Man United. With Donny van de Beek never playing, they paid him like 40 million euro 1 year ago, and then the situation is still critical with van de Beek. He changed his agent. He's desperate to find some game time. He needs to play. So what is your feeling on the relationship between Solskjaer and Donny van de Beek?
Well, Solskjaer, when Van der Beek signed in maybe 18 months ago, Solskjaer didn't want him. He wasn't a player that Solskjaer had on his list. So he was a guy that the club signed. So immediately, Van der Beek was playing for a manager that didn't want him. So it's been obvious right from the start that Solskjaer doesn't want him, doesn't know where to use him. And he hasn't really made an effort to do that. And I do feel sorry for Van der Beek because he's not even been given the chance to fail. He's not been given the chance to succeed, but he's not been given enough games for United to say you're not good enough. And he's been very quiet, Van der Beek, very respectful. He's not said anything, but he's clear that he's unhappy. He's an international footballer. He got to the Champions League semi-finals with Ajax. He's a good player, but he's not been given the chance. And, you know, the Man United fans now joke that he's called Donny van der Bench because that's where he lives. But it's unfortunate that he's not been given the chance to play. And obviously, I think when January comes, I think Everton are quite keen to take Van der Beek. But it depends. If the new manager comes in, he might want to say to Van der Beek, I'm going to give you a chance. So everything depends on who the manager is.
Yes, it's really crazy to think about the situation, and I 100% agree with you, Mark. It's incredible he's not having like 2 or 3 or 4 consecutive games to show what kind of player he is, and then give him an opportunity. But of course, we're not Manchester United managers, so let's see what is gonna happen also for Van de Beek. Mark, before we let you go for the final 5 minutes, I want to be back, of course, on the situation of the manager. So talking about Solskjaer in this case, your personal feeling on this week, how is going to be this week after the decision that is not 100% confirmed yet, but this is the feeling about Solskjaer staying in the game with Tottenham to have a new opportunity. How do you see this week for Man United? How do you see Solskjaer press conference, if he will hold a press conference before the game with Tottenham? But how do you see the atmosphere around the club right now with this decision? After the fans were really hoping for Solskjaer, because this is the reality. They were hoping for Solskjaer to go, to try something new, and now he's still there. So what is your feeling about the atmosphere around Man United and Solskjaer in this week?
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. I do think he will attend his press conference. He doesn't hide from press conferences. I think on Friday we'll see Solskjaer speak. Yeah, in terms of the fans, I speak to a lot of fans, and individually the fans say he has to go, but as a collective in the stadium, they don't sing for him to go. So in many ways, the United fans have been very quiet, but it's going to be difficult. I think the atmosphere at the training ground will be quite tense. You know, Pogba's got to go back and kind of train for 2 weeks without having a game because he's suspended. I think what will happen on Saturday, I think Solskjaer knows that he can't afford to lose. So I think he will make changes. I think people like Jesse Lingard might be brought in. Maybe even Van de Beek. He might decide that, you know, this is my last shot at it. I'm going to give guys a chance. Yeah, exactly. Anthony Martial, I think he's got a problem in defence. I think he might try and get Varane back on the pitch because they've missed Varane. But I think he'll make changes, and that can only that either works or it doesn't work. And I do think that if the players have decided that he's not the man for them, Tottenham away is a very easy game for the Man United players to not quite deliver and lose. And I think they know now that the manager's fate is in their hands. And if they want to keep him, they'll put a performance in it. If they're not bothered, then United will lose, and that'll be it, the end of it.
Yes. It will be very, very clear. You also mentioned Lingard. Also, his situation is really strange, no? Another player they are talking with to extend the contract, to fix the situation. Spent the whole summer with many rumors. West Ham, Leicester, many clubs interested, and then they decided to keep him. But now he's freezing the game, never playing. So how is your feeling on this player?
It's a strange situation because whenever Jesse Lingard plays, he makes a difference. You know, he's not the best player in the world, but he works hard. He's got great energy. He tries to create. He's got a spirit about him that makes a difference. But Solskjaer doesn't play him. And I think when Lingard went on loan to West Ham last season, it was a bad reflection on Solskjaer that he'd not done anything at United, and then all of a sudden he goes to West Ham. David Moyes gets the best out of him, makes him play really well. It embarrassed Solskjaer. Why couldn't Solskjaer do that with Jesse Lingard? Anyway, he goes back to Man United, and all of a sudden he's back to the old Jesse Lingard, doesn't play. So if I was only going to Solskjaer, I would look at Jesse Lingard as one of his guaranteed players that he knows will always give him 100%. His problem is that he's got a lot of big players like Bruno Fernandes, Ronaldo, Sancho, and I think he feels that he can't drop his big players. He's dropped Sancho finally, but Lingard is never going to play ahead of those guys because he's a guy that's come through the youth system. It's easy to leave Jesse Lingard out. But Jesse Lingard is a player that will always give 100% for Man United.
Yes. You were expecting this start for Jadon Sancho after like more than 1 year, always Sancho since February 2020. It was before COVID when they started negotiations for Sancho. So, and then now he's here at Man United and not playing. So it doesn't seem like ready for according to Solskjaer, to be part of the starting 11.
Well, I don't think Jadon Sancho was fully fit when he signed for him. I don't think he had the full match fitness. He had a difficult Euro 2020, so I don't think he was 100% fit. But when he did arrive at United and start playing, Solskjaer played him out of position. He's a right winger, and he's played him on the left. So he's not getting the best out of a play. If a new player moves to a club, he needs to settle in. He needs to adjust, put him in his favourite position, let him get confidence. But straight away, he's put him on the wrong position. So that doesn't help him either. So Sancho's struggling because he's been playing out of position.
Yes. It's incredible, really. But let's see how it will turn on in the next days. Mark, I want to say really big thank you for being part of the stream. Really, it was a super pleasure to have you here. And guys, let me remind to follow Mark on Twitter. Also, what he does on ESPN is really great and really appreciated. So with his last article on Pochettino, Solskjaer situation, so you can find it available today. Mark, really, thank you for being part of this, and good luck for everything, and congrats again for everything you're doing in your work.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.